What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Machiavelli Mills TV. So I wanted to talk about this subject a while ago, but it's on my mind now. So like a couple of weeks ago, Lil Durk, Chicago rap artist was on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast with Gillian Wallo, and he was talking about the love for his lady India Royale, right? Everybody know Durk loved India to the bone and gristle. He loved that woman without question. He made like 3 songs about her, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's great to love your woman and display the love for your woman. That gives a woman great confidence, and it's nothing wrong with that at all. That's a stigma that's been around for men not to express the love for their woman. So I'm glad the brother openly shows the love and affection for his fiance now, right? But he began to describe the qualities of her and what made him so attracted to her and wanted to lock her down. One thing that he talked about in particular was the fact that she had what we call a low body count. Low body count, meaning that she hadn't been with a lot of men sexually. And he really liked that. He didn't want somebody that's been passed around the industry. He didn't want nobody that's had just been with a whole bunch of dudes, and because he feels like at night he a petty dude and he'll just keep thinking about that and can't get past it. He likes the fact that she hasn't been with too many men, right? Of course, I saw people say this, well, Durk doesn't know how many men she been with because he never was in a room with her when she was having sex. And that's true. He does not know. All he can do is take her word for it. But I'm assuming he really trusts his lady and believes her. And she doesn't come across as a liar, so he takes her word for it, right? But nonetheless, that brought up the discussion where women were upset saying, hold on, Durk, how can you have this requirement for women or a woman that you're dating not to have a low body, to have a low body count, and you have a high body count yourself? They brought up the fact that Durk has babies by like 5 different women, and he lives the rapper lifestyle. He's, of course, is known, or it's believed that he's had sex with a whole bunch of different women over the course of his 10-year career. And they're like, well, why is this double standard still present in society? Why can men have a high body count and women don't care, and women can have a high body count and men be like, I'm not dating a woman that has a high body count? And I want to explain that coming from a man's perspective. Y'all know I talk rationally on this channel. I'm not ignorant. I'm not going to be just saying whatever. I'm going to tell you the real. A lot of men take solace in the fact that they have a woman who hasn't been with too many men sexually, because we are prideful individuals. Men are a lot of us have pride as big as an ocean, right? So when we walk into a room of 20 men, we don't never want to be laughed at. We don't want to be the butt of jokes at all. We don't want to walk into a room of 20 men and six or 7 of the men, then they slept with your lady, and now they cracking jokes on you. You looking like all type of crazy out here. You the butt of jokes and they clowning you. Men never want to be clowned. They take solace in the fact they sleep good at night knowing their woman hasn't been with too many men sexually. A man doesn't have a whole bunch of men don't have sexual stories or sexual exploits with their woman. And they like that, right? They like for a woman to treat their body like a temple. On the other hand, a lot of women don't have that same requirement for men at all. It's a lot of women that's not a deal breaker for women. It's simply that. It's a deal breaker for men. It's not a deal breaker for women. Women have the right to say they don't want a man who slept with a whole lot of different women. And they can say, if you slept with over this amount of women, they don't want to deal with you. And that could be and that's perfectly fine, because India could have very well told Durk, asked him how many women you slept with. And if Durk said a high number that she didn't like, she could have very well walked on and carried on. But I think it was something that wasn't a deal breaker for her at all. She didn't care about it. Ultimately, some people were like, well, she didn't care because he's a rapper. But I don't think that's always the truth in certain situations. I've known men who were not rappers, who were not getting a whole bunch of money, who allegedly who slept with a lot of women, and their lady knows about it, and they were fine with it. It wasn't a deal breaker for her, right? And it is what it is. But I want to say, as a man, a lot of men don't want to be laughed at. They don't want men to say that everybody that's seen a woman naked, so on and so forth. That's why you have certain men. It's a lot of men that date strippers, but there are a lot of men who will never date a stripper because they don't want to be with a woman who everybody that's seen naked, everybody that's seen your woman's assets. They don't like that. And then there's some strippers who engage in extracurricular activities while they stripping. And some guys like, I can't sleep at night not knowing if you in there doing whatever. And I know you in a profession where you showing these dudes your body and they touching you and so on and so forth. A lot of men ain't with that. You know, so I think it's a double standard, because one gender, being men, hold or take that into high regard. You know what I mean? It's a certain requirement for one gender, and the other gender is not a requirement all across the board. Now, there are a lot of women, I want to say this, who tell men, I don't want to be with a man that's been around, that's been passed around, or what they call community, you know what. They don't want that. They want a dude who's been low-key, that ain't trying to sleep with everything and everybody, and they like it like that. On the other hand, I've noticed this situation. There have been many women who I know personally, who I went to school with, in particular in college, who were intrigued by men who had sexual exploits with a lot of women. I've seen women be intrigued by it. I heard women say they want to see what's to it. They want to see what the fuss is about. Why this man is why is he so enamored by women? They want to see what has got girls going crazy about him. And they're intrigued by it. They're enticed by a man who has a lot of sexual exploits with a lot of women. So you have that one side. You have some women who really say, you know what, your past is your past. Whatever before me was before me. And then you have some women who are intrigued by that. They think that if a man has a high body count, they're experienced in a lot of different things, and they know the right way to make their bodies feel good or to get an orgasm, so on and so forth, right? So that's the thing. A man is not interested in what we call wifing or making a woman. A lot of men aren't into wifing or making a woman their significant other if they know she's been with 20, 30 dudes on campus. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And you don't have I really haven't heard of men being enticed to wife a woman who has been with a lot of dudes because they want to see what she can do sexually. Oh my God, she can do this sexually. I want to wife her because she's had experience with all these different men. I've never heard that amongst my circle. I've seen men date strippers. I've seen men date girls with OnlyFans. I've seen men date women who were known to be promiscuous, but I never heard them verbalize that they wanted to be with that woman because she had experience with a whole lot of different men, and that could I guess like, and that would let him know that they would have great sex or whatever. I've seen men want to sleep with a woman because they feel like, oh, she probably do this and do that, but not actually wife them. I've heard women, and I know people may think I'm crazy. I've heard women say, you know what? I will be with that dude. A lot of women, because there are a lot of women, and I want to say this, who are intrigued by a man who a lot of women want to have sex with. I'm going to be real with you. And y'all can address it on this channel, but I've seen it. I've seen women who feel like, man, if that woman want to have sex with you, that woman want to have sex with you, damn, what I'm missing out on? What I'm missing? I need to see what you got going on. I need to see, you know what I'm saying? I like the game you putting down. You know what I mean? Like, she might feel like, hey, he packing some flavor that they won't. So I've seen it play the same way across the board. But for women, if they say the double standard exists, they don't like it. In order to stop that double standard, I think if you want to stop it, women, you can just tell a man who slept with a whole lot of women, you can simply tell them, no, I'm not interested in dating you. I don't want to be with a man who's been with this woman, that woman, that woman, that woman. And you say, okay. And a man has no choice but to say, okay, all right, it is what it is. He can't make you be with him. You know what I'm saying? So I think if they want that double standard to decrease or to lessen, a lot of women need to start saying that, hey, I have a requirement. Make that a requirement. Make that something that is their boundary line. You can't be with a whole lot of women. A woman has to tell a man, if you've been with this amount of women, I can't date you or whatever. And I think that, okay, if that may start to decrease, or that you might, the double standard might start to lessen. You know what I mean? But if it's a lot of women that don't care about it and put it in and say the past is the past, men gonna keep doing what they want to do because they know, all right, women ain't tripping on it, right? Now, again, some people might feel like we all grown. Whoever you had sex with before that person is your business. It is what it is. But I know personally myself, I'm going to be honest with you. I never wanted to be with a woman who's had sex with a whole lot of different men. I just didn't. It wasn't a thing for me. I don't like a woman who everybody can say they had sexual exploits with. I don't want to walk around with that woman and holding her on her arm, right? And a woman can make the same requirement for me. Oh, but one thing about me, I ain't been out here wilding like a lot of dudes have. So it ain't gonna work. That is not gonna work on me. I ain't just been out here wilding, sleeping with this one, that one, and third. I wasn't doing that. So, and even if I was, I couldn't get mad at a woman for saying that, hey, I don't want to be with you. You slept with too many women. That's cool. That's fine. That's her choice. That's her standard. It is what it is. So if the double standard wants to decrease, a woman would have, women need to have the same standard as a lot of men to say, hey, you had sex with too many people, it's done. And then it'll be the end all be all of the whole situation. But I thought it was interesting to talk about, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think a person's sexual past or how many people they slept with matters? You know what I mean? What do you think about this double standard? But I think double standards are a part of life. They're always going to be existing in society, right? The same way a woman can come smack the hell up out of me, grab me by my collar and beat me all up and beat me to a pulp, and people gonna laugh at it. A woman can come hit me with all type of objects, throw something at me, throw all type of stuff, scratch my face up. People are gonna laugh, like, oh, you let that woman whoop your butt or whatever, you let that woman whoop your ass. But if I haul off and hit a woman, I'm going to jail, brother. I'm looked at as a vile individual, a vile creature. So, though, that's another double standard that exists within society. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But double standards are always going to exist in society. But I think if women want to lessen that, they need to have the same standard as men when it comes to sexual history. But then again, we don't know how many people your significant other has slept with. You don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Unless that, you know, the woman telling you she a virgin or whatever. But other than that, you don't know because you weren't there. We never know truly how many people a woman has slept with. And a woman doesn't know truly how many people a man has slept with, because a lot of men lie about how many women they slept with because they want to make themselves seem like they're the man. So they lie about it a lot. You know what I mean? And I've seen that play out a lot of times, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out. Peace.